What's up, everybody? My name is Adam Palmer. This is Daily Nonsense. On today's show, we are going to be talking about some confirmations of some players that are going to be getting Topps basketball cards, also some delays to Topps baseball products that have recently come to light. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. If you're a new viewer, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any future Daily Nonsense content. Let's get into it. So it appears that Luka is going to have Topps cards. I think there was some doubt because I think Luka's a Panini exclusive. He wasn't on the checklist for Flagship, which I'm not really sure why that's the case. But so Neo Cards and Comics, who has a phenomenal YouTube channel, I suggest definitely suggest checking out. Some of the guys on YouTube, I find a lot of my content and a lot of, when I was talking to Alex from Clever Cuban Cards when I was on his show, I was talking about some of the content that I follow. Neo is definitely one of them. Chris Sewell's a great channel. Sports Card Professor, even though I don't necessarily agree with everything that he says. Cage, I really like his YouTube channels. Those are just some of the YouTube people that I follow. And so Neo put this out, and he essentially was saying, because there was a Topps Now card with Luka, we essentially have confirmation that Topps is able to make Luka cards. I think we're still potentially waiting on confirmation that there's going to be autographs for Luka. I have a feeling that there probably won't be. There are a lot of big name basketball players. Actually, I think SGA, Jokic, Giannis, I think, are all not signed with Topps, so I don't think we're going to see any autographs of those players in this flagship product or any products this year at least. I don't know if these are going to be like holdovers from Panini. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. There has really been no communication from Panini about what they want to do with any of these exclusive basketball players that they have. I guess in theory, maybe they will come out with some unlicensed stuff, like unlicensed Prism, which I don't know. I guess I am very torn on, like, if unlicensed Prism will be good, because they've done it for baseball and it hasn't really been good. But either way, so Topps is able to make these Luka cards, even though he's not on the flagship checklist, which I do think is unfortunate, because any big Lakers player is obviously going to be one that people want to chase. Which means if he's not on the base checklist, that means he's not on any of the insert checklists either. And as we see more players making their debuts, I think at this point, all of the NBA teams should have made their opening day or their opening game. They should have probably played it. So I think at this point, the first round or the first bunch of these rookies are getting their debut patches. And then we saw, like, there was unfortunately against my Celtics, there was a 76ers player that in his rookie debut scored like 34 points. And it was like the second highest rookie debut, I think, behind Wilt Chamberlain, I think was the name that I saw. So that's going to be an interesting one. And I think the other cool thing that Topps is going to be doing, I mentioned the Luka Topps Now card. I think that Topps has a pretty good opportunity to make some license, well, I guess they wouldn't be licensed necessarily, but make some cards, some Topps Now basketball cards, or just anybody, with people in the background. This is something that I talked about when Topps took over WWE, is that sometimes you see celebrities that go to these, that go to the WWE matches, and that was also one of the things I just haven't seen a company do it exactly the way that I think it should be done, which I don't know. I'm not an executive at any type of card company, obviously, but I think that there's a cool opportunity, and I'm just bringing this up because in the SGA card, there's a guy who I follow. His name is Book It with Trent. He's like a sports gambling personality, and he is actually in the background. It's kind of hard to see. He's kind of like a couple rows up, so it's a little bit hard to see him, honestly, but I just thought it was cool that, like, they're, like, for him, that he's on a card now, and that is, I think that's a cool opportunity for Topps to capitalize. Now, I don't know, they're probably not going to have like a, hey, check out Book It with Trent on the back of that card. But like the fact that, he knows that he's in a card now, I think is very cool. And with these Topps Now, it just gives, people the opportunity, it gives collectors the opportunity to buy cards based on moments, which, this is not new. But when celebrities go to games, like, Cam Scatterbo, for example, he was at the Knicks game sitting courtside. Like, I don't think we're going to see a Topps Now Cam Scatterbo card because, I don't think Topps has the NFL PA license. So, like, the Players Association, I don't think they have the license for that. They're going to be getting it, but I don't think they have it yet. So I don't think we'll see that. But I think in the future, with celebrities that are sitting front row, with athletes athletes potentially that are sitting front row. Like all of these things I feel like could be cool to put on a Topps Now card. And I don't know if they'll ever do like dual autos or like dual cards with people sitting in the front row and the players, but the opportunity exists. And I think it's one that I would love to see Topps do. The other interesting piece here with Topps basketball is we're going to get the first Wembanyama autographs on licensed products. So I don't know, like for some of these exclusive athletes, like for, I don't know, Cam Ward or any of the athletes that are exclusive with Topps now that they're not going to have autographs in any Panini products. I wonder how those first licensed autographs are going to be treated versus like just the rookie autographs on non-licensed stuff. I don't know. It's something, definitely another thing that's interesting, that with Wembanyama coming out of this product with autographs, just keep your eye on for sales. And I guess I'll be watching to see how people treat those specific cards versus like the unlicensed autos, because he was a Topps athlete during his rookie year and Panini unfortunately couldn't make any of those autographs. With the switch over to basketball here, this is mainly a Topps episode, obviously, if you haven't figured that out at this point, but there has been some updates that Topps Update Baseball has been pushed back. That's unfortunate, and I know a lot of people are pretty nervous that as Topps takes over more license, as they take over Disney and they do SpongeBob and they've got the basketball license, that they're going to forget about baseball. Because if we're being honest, like baseball, the playoffs are great, but like if we're looking at the IP or the like importance of the sport, like it's probably number 3. And I know that Michael Rubin said that baseball has kind of gone up the ranks a little bit here, and I would agree with that. I would agree, but I also think that football and basketball are 1 and 2 for sure, baseball being number 3. We also haven't gotten much word about Archives or Stadium Club or Allen and Ginter. Like I've seen some of the autographs from Allen and Ginter, I believe, from 2025, but we haven't seen these like big rollouts like that Topps usually does with these baseball products. So I don't know. It's unfortunate that we're pushing it back, but I think the thing that a lot of people are nervous about is if Topps decides that baseball, once they take over football and basketball, that if baseball is really going to be like the third sport that Topps is finding as like their most important sport. Because for so long, Topps and baseball was synonymous, and it was really the only products that Topps was like known for. Like they have taken over so many other licenses that I definitely think we've seen a shift in Topps's priorities. And I think that these first few years with football and basketball, Topps is definitely going to be focusing on those sports pretty heavily. I do hope that as we get these sports in there in the second and third year, maybe they will all be as important to Topps. Like I'm hoping that, and it's like a parent and a child. Like a parent can't pick who their favorite child is, and I'm hoping that's going to be the case here with the licenses that Topps has. I'm hoping that they're not going to say, well, we're definitely going to make more money with football and basketball, so we're going to move a lot of resources over to that sport. Now, from a business perspective, I think you could definitely say, well, why wouldn't they do that if they're going to make more money? It is a business after all. But I think that if they are 10xing the hobby, like Michael Rubin said, I just hope that the 10xing of like the Disney and the SpongeBob and basketball and football isn't at the expense of baseball and some of the other licenses that Topps already has and they're making cards for. But this is something that we are just going to have to wait and see what happens, because right now, basketball is all that Topps is talking about. And once they get football, I'm sure that will be all that they're talking about then as well. But I think if Topps continues in this trajectory, I think that could be bad for baseball. I think that could be bad for the products they're going to come out with for baseball, because I think that they're putting their priorities in a sport that maybe isn't as popular as the other two. So we'll see what happens here with Topps as they move forward with these licenses. And, like I said, hopefully they don't take for granted that they have baseball and that they have history with baseball, and that they keep putting the resources that are needed to put these products out, and don't just like leave it out to dry. So Topps Update, that's going to be delayed. So if you're hoping for a Topps Update, I don't know. I don't think we've heard anything about Topps Chrome Update yet, any type of like delay. But I think for Topps Chrome or Topps regular update, the flagship update, that is going to be delayed from the regular time period, which I think was like October to December is what I've heard. That's all we've got for the show today. Make sure you leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about today's topics. Also, come back here to the Sports Card Nonsense YouTube channel every day for more daily nonsense. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.